Believe me, ladies and gents, you are not ready for this one because hip-hop streets are on fire. Jim Jones, who formerly walked the streets of Harlem like a king, is now reportedly crying following a shocking incident. So outrageous that even Maury Povich may yell, "You are not the father." Or did I hear correctly? Chrissy Lampkin, Jim's lifelong friend and reality TV ride or die star has been. Jim Jones recently learned that Chrissy Lampkin has been caught in the messiest scandal of the decade, which may or may not have been smuggled out of a courtroom by a shady intern with a bad Wi-Fi connection. Perhaps hip-hop's most shocking betrayal ever is the treatment of a hidden child all along. Is this the last nail in the coffin for the Ditz dynasty? More importantly, how did this ever happen? Beneath Jim's nose, so pay close attention. Get some popcorn and buckle up, because what I'm about to reveal will make hip-hop and love seem like something out of a Disney film. This is the scandal of all scandals, and we're watching every second of the camera's flash. The whispers turn to gas, and the courtroom that was supposed to handle yet another celebrity issue in a civilized manner abruptly turns into the scene of the most shocking betrayal in Harlem that has ever seen Jim Jones treat royalty with such deceit. We fly high, but according to our highly reliable, by which I mean very dubious, sources close to the situation, Jim Jones isn't soaring at all at the moment. He is simply sunk beneath his weight, regardless of how much ice. The rapper turned businessman is reportedly crying into his Louis Vuitton scarf, but what's really causing him to do so? Chrissy Lampkin, the woman who kept him down for decades and persisted. The woman whose commitment was said to be unmatched. The one who reportedly physically proposed to Jim Jones on live television, has been with him through label disagreements, tour turbulence, and enough reality TV battles to make us seem tame. Chrissy Lampkin's greatest secret has been kept hidden from Jim Jones, the world, and possibly even the world, since what can only be described as the most contentious court hearing since Cardi B was found guilty of throwing shoes at dancers. I understand your thoughts, but believe me when I say that a man who once asserted that he had eyes and ears everywhere can ignore a whole baby-sized elephant in the room, according to people in the know. This is from the makers of Love and Hip Hop. While testifying, Jim Jones, the janitor who overheard everything while cleaning outside the courthouse, was taken by surprise by bombshell documents that claimed to be text message receipts and held onto your wigs, the alleged paternity report with. For those of you who are too young or live in a cave to recall the Dipset period, Chrissy's name is obvious. Bless your millennial hearts, here is the history you must enjoy. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin have been the do of. They nearly created the pattern for We're Poisonous, but they made it famous with breakups, cosmetics, and on-again, off-again turbulence, missing weddings, matching tattoos, and public altercations. Mayhem from Harlem block parties to love and hip-hop. During what witnesses described as the most intense courtroom clapback in actuality, Cameron, also known as Cam the Petty King of Hip-Hop, entered the scene with supporters screaming, "Just marry her soon." Let's be honest, if Cameron is in the room something, said TV history, as the camera allegedly slid into the courtroom like a pink Cameron dressed as a Grim Reaper, delivering the receipts for Chrissy's alleged betrayal. Messy is about to go down. I'm going to reveal why my brother Jim Jones has been walking about thinking he was living, he said abruptly, pulling out an envelope as if he were at the Source Awards. According to our unknown legal source, Chrissy Lampkin was covertly involved in a love story while he was appearing in a daytime soap opera. Kudos to the court sketch artist who revealed the truth. With another guy years ago, and their relationship produced a child that Jim Jones was unaware of. This isn't just some haphazard, random rumor. Oh no, the courtroom allegedly erupted like it was the Bits Awards. And someone said, Jim Jones collapsed in his chair, removed his cuffs and sunglasses, and said to his lawyer, "I can't believe this." Bayance was pregnant again, and you could hear the screaming. Who could he be, the man who constructed his image on the street code for loyalty, and keeping it authentic for him? Loyalty isn't just a phrase. It's his brand and entire identity. He reportedly kept this kind of devastating secret, and it wasn't only treason, it was character assassination in broad daylight. And if you believe that the courtroom was rocked, imagine the screenshots that went viral on the internet before Jim Jones could dry his eyes. Memes, hashtags, and TikTok were all over social media. Within hours, Chrissy's hidden child went viral worldwide thanks to talks and think pieces from bogus relationship experts who reportedly earned a master's degree in dipset drama. One Twitter user posted it flawlessly, Jim. While fans were busy figuring out time frames and doing celebrity paternity tests, Jones' discovery that Chrissy Lampkin has a secret child is the narrative twist we didn't realize we needed in 2024. Someone should call Mama Scott as soon as possible. Prior to the episode, Jim Jones reportedly vanished from the public spotlight during season 3. According to insiders, he canceled all appearances, slid out of a book club hosting engagement, and unfollowed Chrissy Lampkin. Since unfollowing someone on Instagram is like filing for divorce in 2024, Chrissy Lampkin has been silent and hasn't posted or commented, which has further increased curiosity because it's fantastic false news. The difference is that Cameron, usually the king of shady Instagram captions, has kept it oddly awful for the time being. But if history is any indication, he's only loading images. Investigators are aware of quiet guilt, or at least it makes the story more interesting. The world is now left with the one question on everyone's mind. How the hell did Jim Jones not know? How can a man surrounded by cameras, friends, and haters miss a secret this big? That is the next wave of petty waiting for the perfect opportunity. Just as the chaos in the courtroom reached a fever pitch, the judge slammed the gavel down and loudly declared, "We are adjourned until tomorrow morning further." Is this the ultimate treachery, or is there more to this story than we've been told? The crowd erupted in shocked conversation as reporters and photographers stormed the courthouse steps like crazed monsters and announced that evidence and witness testimony will be presented. The courthouse was the largest circus in town by day, with reporters, bloggers, TikTok detectives, and every shaved gossip page imaginable. This is when things take a far worse turn. The morning filing was anything but peaceful. The atmosphere was hectic, chaotic, and definitely filthy outside the courthouse, where people were crammed like sneakerheads anticipating the new Jordan release. Tensions were high when Jim Jones and his legal team entered. Cameron arrived stylishly late, sporting a bright pink tracksuit, shades, and a big hoodie pulled over his head. His expression indicated, "I didn't wake up for this, Chrissy Lampkin Cameron." Described as "I told you so" spirit, the judge warned the courtroom to maintain composure at the beginning of the hearing and warned that any outburst would not be allowed. This obviously meant nothing at all because the atmosphere was too chaotic and gossipy. The following revelation, which the prosecution backed by unnamed sources allegedly including a disgruntled ex-friend and someone else, was far too dramatic for anyone to handle. Described as a hairstylist who overheard everything, Exhibita purportedly revealed private text messages between Chrissy and a man only identified in court documents as Mr. X, providing what they call unquestionable evidence of Chrissy's alleged double life. Around the time Jim and Chrissy were likely working on wedding preparations, Instex and Chrissy reportedly restarted their romance, according to the affidavit. The texts were full of cryptic flirtations and mentions of secrets. Even Cameron, who had spent a large portion of the morning looking at his phone as if he were completely bored, gasped as the courtroom collectively reacted to the now iconic comment that sent Twitter into a complete frenzy. Raised an eyebrow, Jim allegedly froze, according to witnesses, looking as though he had just been struck by a sledgehammer. His lawyers murmured nervously as the prosecution proceeded to reveal its allegations. Mountain of evidence, followed by purported bank records that suggested Chrissy had been transferring substantial sums of money each month to a private trust established in the name of a minor, which supported the prosecution's theory, was that Jim was unaware that Chrissy was providing financial support for a kid. The defense claimed that the payments were charitable donations and private family matters, but the damage had already been done. TikTok conspiracy theorists created timelines, compared old love and hip-hop shows, found odd pauses in Chrissy's Instagram posts, and even contrasted Miss X's baby photos in an effort to. Jim sat quietly with no tweets, posts, or even a passive voice while the circus raged online. Established resemblance, one viral TikTok openly declared, "Look at that nose, it's Genetics' girlfriend." Some admirers of the hostile attitude meme started posting side-by-side photos of Jim from years ago, and now with captions like, "This man has aged 15 years overnight, prayers up." Cameron, meantime, in order to avoid wasting any good time, Muck posted a photo of himself drinking tea along with the words, "Patience is everything." However, back in court, things were going to get a lot wilder. The next witness was an old friend of Chrissy who was protected by Jane Doe status. She claimed that years prior, Chrissy had confided in her about an accident that had resulted in a child and how she had no intentions to never tell Jim. The judge slammed the gavel twice, and the courtroom was audibly gassed again. Jane Doe then accused Chrissy of defending the concealment by saying, "I couldn't risk him finding out, it would destroy." Jim was afraid that the truth might ruin their relationship and their lucrative reality TV deals for the first time since the controversy started. Sponsorships and public image as the ultimate hip-hop power couple, Paul looked up and looked straight ahead, unblinking, and his expression said it all. The rumors outside the vehicle said that this wasn't just treachery, but despair. Newspapers yelled headlines about the baby bombshell that rocked Dipset Chrissy's deepest secret, which ultimately revealed Jim Jones's cruel, savage side. The courthouse had suddenly burst into a full-scale media maelstrom. "We Soar High," a viral hit that showcased Jim's stardom, including a video with the tagline, "We Cry High." Another video showed Mona Scott Young with devil horns, supposedly planning how to turn this into 10 new episodes of hip-hop and romance. Fans were thrilled, but as the situation turned serious, the defense argued that none of the evidence clearly demonstrated anything, and that the alleged messages were taken out of context. The judge declared that further witnesses will be heard the next day, maybe including an appearance by Mr. X, and that the witness testimony was unreliable due to hearsay from a former buddy who turned opportunist. The donations were philanthropic. While supporters outside were live streaming in the hopes of catching even a sight of Jim or his team, reporters were frantically taking notes in the courtroom, and sketch artists were documenting every emotional moment. When the court adjourned, Chrissy stepped in or out. Jim got up slowly, replaced the hood over his head, and walked away without saying anything. Cameron ran after him, grinning as though he already knew he had one more trick up his sleeve. The world awaited Mr. X to eventually reveal the truth. Would Chrissy shatter her? Would Jim ever be able to go past this? Would Cameron's pity rule keep getting worse? A court date was set, and the media called it. Outside supporters gathered with plurds to read Judgment Day for Dipset. Jim blinked twice before another brutally read that Chrissy had a full side quest, and Jim hadn't even received the message. suddenly as if the gods. When the unexpected rumor that Mr. X was traveling to New York to testify flashed across everyone's phones without confirmation, the streets went crazy. Neil's helicopters were allegedly. The countdown had started on day 3, and the trial was expected to be the most intense. Already, airborne security had been increased, and the internet did what it does best: make predictions, make wild accusations, create fake screenshots, and of course, create memes. Jim Jones was going to lose not just his relationship, but also his entire legacy, which the fans didn't have. Day 3 was just a few hours away, and as the sun sank over New York City, one worry persisted in everyone's thoughts. The world held its breath, wondering what would happen next as the cameras, reporters, fans, and bogus experts prepared to swarm the courthouse once more. The dispute wasn't dying down. In fact, it was about to blow up again. Even the pavement seemed to know what was coming as the sun rose above Manhattan. Crowds had already gathered outside the courtroom before daybreak, and many people skipped work and flew in from various. On day 3 of the trial, which was officially named The Day Murderer X Comes, press vans lined the street, states influencers were live streaming from the steps, TikTokers were practicing their surprise facial reactions, and suddenly, the audience yelled, "Could this finally be him?" When an unmarked black SUV approached the door and a tall, elegantly dressed guy wearing a navy suit and dark glasses emerged. Mr. X was snarled at by paparazzi, who hurried microphones at him. He didn't say anything, just straightened his tie and entered the building. Jim Jones was sitting seriously in the courtroom with his lawyer, and his hoodie was. He was no longer the larger-than-life Harlem hustler we had known. Instead, he was a guy witnessing the pieces of his life fall apart. Cameron entered seconds after donning a varsity jacket, and when the judge arrived, he ordered silence, and the final day of the evidence began. Mr. X's face cried out, "I live for this mess." The gallery leaned forward as though about. Mr. X, who was under oath to hear the verdict of a trial, claimed to have known Chrissy for years, and that their relationship had once been more than just acquaintances. The guests happened exactly on time, he said, during a passionate romance. According to him, Chrissy promised Jim would never know that she was pregnant and gave birth in secret many years ago because she was frightened that telling Mr. X would destroy him. He also said that he had complied with her wishes thus far, was still involved in the child's life from a distance. The courtroom was filled with astonished quiet when Jim Jones looked up for the first time in hours. His gaze was set on the man who claimed to be the child's father, whose own brother had been buried. Said to have said, "I gave her everything." Mr. X then revealed the reason behind Twitter's cardiac collapse, claiming that he and Chrissy had a private contract to keep everything secret. Even Jim's own counsel was allegedly unaware that the court had a copy of the paper, which included Chrissy's monthly child support payments. As soon as the story emerged and hashtags became viral, the crowd outside surged. Within seconds, a widely shared post during the Jim Jones trial, or Crest's secret kid, Mr. X's closed, exposed Jim Jones's Dipset chain, which was altered to use the phrase "trust difficulties" rather than diplomats. Meanwhile, back in the defense, rushed to complain, saying that the documents were not authenticated, that Mr. X was seeking notoriety, and that his words were a well-planned lie intended to destroy a famous marriage. But the court had already suffered the consequences. As the verdict of public opinion was already rendered, Jim left the premises while security cameras recorded him doing so, head and shoulders down, with Chrissy nowhere to be seen. Cameron, on the other hand, stepped out. As the proceedings progressed, the judge addressed the elephant in the room, the horrible evidence. While this case was still formally a civil dispute, he was out eating a hot dog and waving to the audience like he was walking the red carpet. Given had caught the interest of federal and state investigators who were suspicious of money laundering. Unreported child support funds and frauds began to proliferate like vultures, and record labels started supporting. At the conclusion of the day, Jim's counsel requested an urgent pause to examine the possible collaborations with Jim. Sponsors covered the canceled contracts, and reality TV producers discussed whether to eliminate or boost the upcoming season. The judge granted the defense against probable criminal exposure based on fresh information and preparation, stating that the court will reconvene in 2 weeks. However, the headlines couldn't wait that long, covering Jim Jones's downfall as a hip-hop hero. As Jim's career collapses due to Chrissy's child bombshell, Cameron declares victory. Of course, social media has its own viewpoint. A viral TikTok dubbed Jim the new Tristan Thompson of hip-hop Twitter. As the courtroom emptied, some admirers pleaded for forgiveness, while others declared Jim Dunn had been playing the long game for years. Jim apparently remained for a few seconds before leaving by himself. Whether Jim heard what Cameron allegedly muttered under his breath, no one knows. And with that, the most dramatic courtroom drama in modern hip-hop history came to an end, at least temporarily, but the aftershocks had hardly. Jim's social media was silent until Chrissy finally broke her silence by posting a mysterious black square with no message that sparked more fan speculation after the retail store dips mysteriously stopped the following morning. Regardless of whether it was an apology, a power move, or a resignation, Cameron gave his supporters a surprise Instagram live called Petty Wins Again, where he casually recapped the entire drama while sipping tea. He ended the live stream with one last blow while instrumentals played in the background. At least I won't have to read about it on TMZ, because legal experts commented on all media platforms. Could Chrissy face fraud charges? Could Jim ever? As the subject dominated headlines for weeks, bloggers, podcasters, and armchair detectives had a suspicion. As fans wondered if Jim and Chrissy would reunite, was there a chance to restore their reputation, or had this irreparably damaged it? There are now no definitive answers about not only a relationship, but also a full hip-hop legacy. Chrissy is silent, and Jim is either the ultimate villain, or there is more to this story than everyone is aware of. Was Jim completely caught off guard? Or did he choose to disregard warning signs? Will Cameron ever grow weary of being the king of petty spoilers? One thing is for sure, though, this is just the beginning. There will be more leaks, receipts, and courtroom drama soon. If you appreciate dramatic celebrity drama with a dash of sarcasm, please remember to like and comment below with your thoughts about what happens next. Who are you rooting for, Cameron or Jim Chrissy? Please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for this video. I promise you'll want to be the first to know when the next shocking revelation occurs. Thank you for watching, and until the next time, stay dirty and suspicious. False celebrity news: Cameron is somewhere laughing like the king of petty he is, and the team never stops brewing. My buddies are the messy, chaotic, jaw-dropping drama that no one saw coming. Jim Jones devastated Chrissy. Don't get too comfortable though, because this story is far from over. We'd love to hear your wildest theories in the comment section right now. Was Jim genuinely surprised, or was he just ignoring what Chrissy was playing? Some next-level survival game, or is this the ultimate betrayal? Let's face it, is Cameron just stoking the flames for amusement? Or does he have a bigger scheme in the works? Share your ideas in the comment section below, since you are the internet. Investigators are putting in a lot of effort on this one, so if you're as addicted to celebrity drama as we are, please hit the like button and subscribe. Press the alert bell. I don't want to miss the next thing. So trust me when I say that the world of fake. Scandals in the news just make the tea hotter. The secrets continue to get more soiled, and the drama never stops simmering.